I'm George G. Morgan.
And I'm Drew Smith, and we're with the Genealogy Guys podcast.
And we've been doing the podcast for almost 10 years.
And that means we now have about 290 one-hour episodes on topics all over the place about genealogy, whatever strikes our fancy.
Normally our podcast takes the form of, we have news from the genealogy community, we have listener email, we have themes we discuss, we talk about DNA, we talk about lots of different topics. We also do interviews. We'll record interviews at conferences or in other ways, maybe electronically, and include those. We do book reviews, magazine reviews, and the whole idea is to provide as much information to our listeners as possible.
And to make it entertaining, because we know that people, they want something like they're doing something dull, they're commuting to work, they are doing laundry, they're exercising, they want something to...
Underwater swimming.
We've had someone, or running a marathon and winning their category in the marathon while listening to us. So people are doing other things, but they want to have some fun while they're doing it, listening to something fun.
Podcasting is a great medium. I love audio programs. You can do something with when you're listening to them. But the nice thing about podcasts is you can record them, save them, publish them, and make them available for people to download and listen to at their leisure. A recent check of our statistics over the last 10 years, we've had more than 1,800,000 downloads. People sometimes just discover the podcast or hear about it, and they'll listen to one or two episodes and they'll think, wow, and they'll literally go back to the first episode and listen to them all in sequence. And even though the news is somewhat outdated, and some of the topics we talk about, there are new resources available, they often come back and say, wow, I've learned so much, and I can learn it at my own speed, I can listen when I want to, and I can take it an informational bite at a time.
It's also easy for us. Podcasting, to get into it as a podcaster, just requires that you record audio, and the editing is easy to learn. It's almost like doing word processing, just to cut out the bits that you don't want in there, to splice things together. It's a lot easier than doing video, which we've also played with a bit.
Yep.
But that means we can get our episodes out very quickly. It doesn't take much time to get, once we record, usually the episode's going to be available at least by the next day. So that's fun for us, because we don't want it to be a lot of work for us. It's a bit of a hobby, really.
But people often ask, well, what goes into recording a podcast? And we take the email, we take the materials that we have received, we'll formulate them into groups, the news, the listener email, whatever. We'll do research if we have to answer questions. And then we'll take the material, sit down and record it. And then after that, we divide the duties. Drew takes control of the audio and he edits it down.
Adds in the commercials.
Right. And while I take the information and produce the show list.
Yep.
And then all of it gets published together on the podcast website, and I make a couple of announcements. One, certainly on Facebook, and we have a large following on Facebook, and on Genealogy Guys.
Well, first of all, my favorite thing about the podcast is when we have a question from a listener. Now, George and I will give our opinions. We always have an opinion about something, but they may ask something that we don't know about, and we will simply throw it out there for our other listeners, and they will come back with an email and answer the first person's question. So we really like when that happens. That just makes it a favorite for us.
It's part of the community.
That's right.
And
so
that's really nice.
It makes it very interactive. I think some of our interviews have been a lot of fun. Again, we've interviewed some of the best genealogy speakers out there when we go to conferences. That's a lot of fun. And let's see, what else?
People come up to us at conferences and in airports and on cruises, and hi, I listened to your podcast.
I know.
And it's very, very gratifying.
I mean, we know that there's real people out there listening, but it's not until they actually run into us at a conference that we get to talk to them and see them.
Start with yourself, work backwards, and don't be afraid of the brick walls. They are inevitable, and they require you to think about, analyze what information you already have, and then learn more about other record types, other repositories, other places where you can look.
And seek out all the educational opportunities. There are so many videos, many of which are free, that you can use. Attend conferences, listen to webinars, read.
Join a local genealogical society.
Yes, definitely.